大家好. My name is Jonathan Higgins, and welcome to Learn Chinese Cafe's Chinese instructional video series. In this video, we're going to take a quick look at retroflexives. In pinyin, the retroflexives are represented by CH, SH, ZH, and R. So, what is a retroflexive? Basically, retroflexive is a fancy linguistic term that refers to pronunciations that are made by curling the tongue. I think the definition is actually a little broader. It can include some other things as well, but for the Chinese language, it refers to curling the tongue. Okay, now I'm going to use these examples here. I'm going to pronounce them all in the first tone, just for simplification. And when we get here, you'll also want to note that this final en sounds like n, as in the English name Jen. N. Okay, so that's our final n, and then we'll be using the retroflexives as the initials. Very quickly, the retroflexives ch and sh sound very similar to the ch sound in English and the sh sound in English. It's just that the tongue is curled. That's almost basically the only difference. ZH sounds like G in Jeep. Okay, and then the R sounds like the R in English as well, except of course the tongue is curled. All right, so let's get to it. This is how you do it. I don't have any fancy diagrams for you, but I can talk you through this. Step one is the positioning of the tongue. You need your tongue in the back of your mouth a little bit, and you can locate where your tongue should be by saying the word pleasure and then stopping on the S in pleasure. So for example, pleasure, and I just kind of stopped on the S there. And when you do that, take note where your tongue is, especially take note where the tip of your tongue is. I'm going to do it again. Pleasure. And when I just stopped pronouncing there, I didn't move my tongue at all. I kept it right in the same position where it was when I was pronouncing this S in pleasure. Now, without moving the tongue further back or closer towards the teeth, right? Keep it in the same place. Don't move it backwards or forward. Curl it. So now the tip of your tongue, so now the bottom of the tip of your tongue is up against the roof of your mouth, back in that same position where it was when you were saying pleasure. Okay, so basically it shouldn't be up against your teeth, right? It's curled, but it's not touching your teeth. It's back in the middle on your upper palate. Okay, then once it's there, then you pronounce, and essentially these are going to sound very similar to how they sound in English, except of course the ZH, which sounds like a G. All right, so let's try this. So I'm going to curl my tongue and then let the air through, and this is what we have for this here. Ch, chen, chen. Okay, now if I pronounce it without my tongue curled, chen, you can kind of, it's different. Chen, chen. Can you hear the difference? I'm gonna say it without my tongue curled 3 times and then with my tongue curled 3 times. Chen, 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 chen. Right? So you can see that the CH sound is there, but it is distinct. And your ear, or the typical ear of a native speaker, may not be able to distinguish those two when they hear it, but believe me, a Chinese person will recognize it right away. Next, same thing. Tongue is in the position, same position, it's curled, and now we're making an SH sound. I'll say this with my tongue curled 3 times. Shen, shen, shen. and without my tongue curled. Shen, 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 with my tongue curled. Shen, shen, shen. Okay, here, same thing. Tongue is curled. Jen, jen, jen. Without my tongue curled. Jen, jen, jen. With my tongue curled. Jen, jen, jen. If you pay attention to the word Jen in English, you'll notice that there's a Y sound in there. It almost sounds like you're pronouncing J-Y-E-N, right? Yen, yen, right? Yen, Jian, Jen. But in the Chinese, when your tongue is curled, there's no Y sound in there at all. Jen, Jen, Jen. The curling of the tongue actually gets rid of that. Okay, finally, R. Now, I'm going to speak a little bit more about the R because it's a little complicated. When you get a chance, look in the mirror and say any English word that begins with R. Okay, raspberry, red, rank, okay, whatever, ripple. And what you'll notice is your lips come together. Your top and bottom lip will come together to make the R sound. And then you'll pass air through it to make the R sound. If I pronounce this in the English way, it's like the bird. It's going to come out ren, ren. And if I sort of pause on the R and drag out its pronunciation, my lips are very close together and there's air passing through my lips, through the opening left by my bottom and upper lip, and the air is passing through it, ren. Okay. Now, what's happening in Chinese is the R, there is an R sound being pronounced, and it still is being pronounced by air being forced through a small, narrow opening, except it's not your bottom and upper lip, it's your curled tongue in the roof of your mouth. Okay, so you get your tongue curled and in the same position as it was when you were pronouncing chen, shen, jen, and the tongue's in the same place except you're just trying to make an R sound. Ren. And while you're looking in a mirror and saying ren in Chinese, what you want to do is keep your lips apart, because what your brain is going to do is it's going to tell your lips to come together to pronounce the R sound. But in Chinese, the R sound is not pronounced. Your lips, using your lips are out of the way. In fact, your lips can even be open apart from each other. So ren. So I'm going to say this 3 times with my tongue curled. Ren, ren, ren. And now without my tongue curled. Ren, ren, ren. And then with the tongue curled again appropriately. Ren, ren, ren. And in this case, your tongue is curled, but it's actually not touching the roof of your mouth. It's curled, and it's as close as to the roof of your mouth as it could possibly be without actually touching. Ren. And that way it lets the air pass through between your curled tongue and the roof of your mouth without, if your tongue was actually touching the roof of your mouth, you'd end up pronouncing one of these 3. The free passage of air between a tiny space of your curled tongue and your palate will give you the ren R sound. Ren. So I'll say each of these one more time. Chen, shen, jen, ren. And there you have it. That's how you pronounce the retroflexives in Chinese. Make a comment or ask a question about this. I'll do my best to answer it for you. 再见.